Michael, I'm not saying we're walking in a winter wonderland.
Joe, you had your moment. Let me just finish the point.
I know, but
I get that.
Tell us something we don't know.
Well, I'm telling you something that you seem to forget.
What is that saying? A hurt dog will holler. Well, that is what's happening right now with the mainstream media, because Joe Scarborough is feeling the heat. Ratings are down. They're probably going to be making less money. The mainstream media, let's call it the corporate media. The corporate media is in complete disarray. And so I thought to myself, this moment went viral a couple days ago, and I was wondering, like, what teed it all off? And you know what, folks? I found that moment for you. And I also, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I saw this report and it blew my mind. It blew my mind. The mainstream media is suffering in a way that I don't think anyone fully anticipated with Trump's win. I think a lot of folks thought that Trump was going to win and everyone was going to like be glued to their TVs again. And it turns out that though folks are not tuning out the news, they're tuning out the noise. Because I'm just gonna read this whole thing. Real quick, if you could like the video, please hit like on the video. It does get this in front of more viewers and helps me out and helps spread the message to more pro-democracy Americans. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much. The Washington Post subscribers quit the paper en masse, as you all know, following Jeff Bezos' decision to withhold its endorsement of outgoing Vice President Kamala Harris. But the Post's audience problems extend beyond angry former subscribers. Over the last 4 years, web traffic has cratered, according to internal data shared with Semaphore in recent weeks. The Post's regular daily traffic last year sunk to less than a quarter of what it was at its peak in January 2021. A quarter. That month, the Post briefly reached a high of around 22.5 million daily active users following the January 6th attack. But by the middle of 2024, its daily users hovered around 2.5 to 3 million daily users. So what, is that like 10% of their previous high? And last year, Washington City paper noted that the Post has stopped publicly disclosing its traffic numbers and press releases after a 60% decline in monthly traffic. The Wall Street Journal reported that the Post's revenue fell from $190 million to $174 million. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the collapse of the mainstream corporate media. So when a dog gets hit, it hollers. And that is what Joe Scarborough did in that moment. And that is what's happening right now as folks leave and find new places. Because as I said, people are tuning out the noise, but they're not tuning out the news. I don't know who you're paying attention to, but I'm very grateful because my channel has never been doing better in terms of viewership and audience and subscribers. And that's all because of you. So thank you for that. But it also just goes to show that just because those eyeballs are no longer on cable doesn't mean their eyes are shut. People are just being a lot more judicious about what they put in front of themselves and what they pay attention to, which I think is overall better for our democracy. But what's good for democracy is not good for MSNBC, certainly not good for Joe Scarborough. And I just actually cannot believe the rationale he uses. He's talking about the thing that everyone's been talking about, which is Jimmy Carter's funeral and how Obama and Trump were apparently civil with each other. And I don't want to put words in Joe Scarborough's mouth, but pay attention to this, and I will point out the hypocrisy on the other side.
Michael, I know this may sound radical for some people out there, but actually, if you sit there and you talk to somebody,
it's a different thing.
And you're civil to somebody. No, it's all part of the same thing. When he wants to speak out, does he have a better chance to pick up the phone and call on a personal level and say, I've got a real problem with this. Let me tell you what you're about to do. Let me tell you why this is going to blow up in your face, and the blowback's not going to be worth it because I know I sat there.
That works if Joe Biden is calling George Bush,
yeah,
or George Bush is calling Barack Obama. Right. You know, the moment that whole thing yesterday was illustrative of how.
Sorry, I cannot believe Joe Scarborough was like, maybe it's good to be good to Donald Trump because then Donald Trump will be receptive to feedback. Was he asleep the last 10 years? 10 years. It's been 10 years. Has he been asleep for 10 years? Because Donald Trump only listens to Donald Trump. And if you're not going to tell Donald Trump what Donald Trump wants to hear, then you're on the chopping block and you're fired. So I don't know what the hell he is talking about. But I got to say that Michael Steele here, who is the former RNC chair, actually did a great job of handing it back to him. So let's watch a bit of that.
That one of his justices
also
had.
I want you to watch Mika Brzezinski's physicality in this moment.
An improper conversation.
Michael, I'm not saying we're walking in a winter wonderland.
Joe, you had your moment. Let me just finish the point.
I know, but
I get
tell
that.
us something we don't know.
Well, I'm telling you something that you seem to forget. And so let me make my point. You may not like it, but I'm going to make it. And the reality of it is, I take your civility argument, and you like to say 78 million people voted for Donald Trump. Well, 82 million people voted for Joe Biden.
Right.
And he didn't get that civility that you're talking about from Donald Trump in those 4 years.
Right.
So now the expectation is, oh, because he's won again and he got 78 million people, we all got to be civil to Donald Trump. Well, okay, I'm prepared to be civil.
Nobody said that.
You did.
No, I didn't say it.
I did.
No,
so
I didn't say everybody has to be civil.
The reality of it is, you're saying, you're using the term civil. I've never used that term. I'm using your term. You put civility on the table.
And you said we all have to be civil. There is a pushback that you have to have.
But Joe.
I'm just talking about Barack Obama.
I'm just saying, I'm not, fine. I'm not talking about that. My main point is everybody's looking at this from a one-way perspective, how we need to approach Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. How the hell is he approaching us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? The man wants to lock up citizens. The man wants to turn the government against him. How are we to respond to that? Are we supposed to be civil?
Michael, do you think we don't know that?
Doesn't seem like it.
Michael, why do you...
Not you. I'm just saying the
Michael,
broader
Michael,
you.
Why do you feel the need to create false choices?
I'm not creating a false choice. I'm using your words.
You have created...
I'm using you. You put civility on the table.
My words. You took me saying that it's not the end of the world, that Barack Obama smiled and talked to Donald Trump, and you're turning that into that we have no idea what's before us.
I'm not.
You will play very well today on Blue Sky and Threads and X. Congratulations.
I'm not playing to anybody. I don't have an audience here. I'm just saying.
Wow. Sometimes I don't watch the full clip because I want to have a real experience with you as if we're watching it together for the first time. And that is one I saw at the beginning and I was like, oh, I think this is going to be good. And it's good. Look at his face. Okay, so all I got to say is Michael Steele, who is the former RNC chair, Republican on Republican, defending all of us like that, because it is true that there is this expectation that we have to coddle Donald Trump. But Donald Trump was running against Joe Biden for his entire presidency. He never let the man do his job. And so when I'm hearing that Donald Trump had a better approval rating than Joe Biden does as he's leaving, it's because of that. Joe Biden did not ever have a chance to bring this country together. It was always Donald Trump doing everything he could to undermine Joe Biden. And so, no, I ain't gonna be civil, baby. Not the next 4 years. Civility out the window. I will not comply. And we all know what Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, what they are really in this for, and that is just for themselves. They want to make sure that they can make as much money as possible, and they want to make sure that they don't get in trouble and they don't get locked up by Donald Trump. And I got to be honest. Like, if I were them in their position, I would say, lock me up for speaking the truth. It would be a great honor. That's not them. They went to Mar-a-Lago and they said, please, Donald Trump, please like us. Please don't hurt us. And they did a lot of damage because of that in the process. So I'm over them. I love this moment. There will be less and less of them as corporate media dies, which it is dying. But that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.